Retail traders are super bullish on gold. I can tell you that just off the top of my head, but let's just confirm it just to see if I'm right. I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Let's take a look at gold. We'll refresh the data, make sure we have the latest, and there it goes. Retail traders, the popular trade is to be buying gold right now. So this is very concerning because I am bullish on gold, but I don't want to buy it when all of the average retail traders are buying it, right? It's a little bit of a red flag. And again, something to be paying attention to. Guys, we've got 30 seconds here before the news. Let me go ahead and just pull up some charts, make sure I have, we will come back to gold with more details in just a moment, but let's make sure we don't miss the spike. Got the S&P 500 in the bottom left. We'll put the dollar yen bottom right. That's probably fine. Put the dollar top right, and of course, gold top left here. So we're going to see what unemployment claims look like here today. And there we go. Here we go. Let's see if we have any volatility here this morning off of unemployment numbers. And there goes gold. Dollar shooting back up a little bit here. Unemployment numbers are definitely in. Let's go see if we have those numbers coming. There it is, 1.3% preliminary GDP hitting right now. Gold spiking slightly down. S&P 500 about flat. Dollar yen trading up a little bit. Dollar up just a little bit as well. Still waiting on these unemployment claim numbers. And there it is, 229,000 jobs. Unemployment claims, slightly less than forecasted. And gold catching back up a little bit. Dollar yen trading higher. The S&P 500 selling off just slightly. Dollar showing some strength here. Hitting around 104 and holding so far. 229,000 unemployment. Thank you guys for that in the chat, for keeping us up to date as best as possible. Yeah, it's a...
Did you know that you can watch Trader Nick live stream every morning, Monday through Friday, with guests from all around the world? Each morning, right here on the A1 Trading YouTube channel, we put on a live show where Trader Nick, along with some very special guests, go over their charts and ideas for every kind of asset. We do a live reaction to news drops and do analysis immediately following. You never know what's going to happen during one of our streams. So come be a part of the live stream community. You can find our live streaming schedule on the A1 Trading Twitter account each week so you never miss a news event.
229, so that's less than forecasted. It's not a massive, substantial, less than expected unemployment claims. So I wouldn't say it's game changing by any means, but still causing the market to move here a little bit. Also preliminary GDP, 1.3% compared to the forecast of 1.1. Could be an interesting mover as well. There goes the dollar making a little bit of a push here. This is a 15-minute chart, so granted, this is not a massive move by any means. If it was a big move, it would shoot off the screen. That's how you generally can tell with 15-minute charts if it's a real big move or if it's just a, lower time frame move. So right now, I would say this move is a move. It's just not a, a ginormous, massive move. So dollar yen moving about 20, 25 pips. That's a good sized move. It's not huge though. So gold back down to the lows, 1955 being challenged here. Let's see if price can what it'll do here. The question for dollar bulls and gold traders here, if you're trading gold right now, you're straight up trading against the dollar. And the question is, if you're buying gold, right? If you're buying gold, you're betting just strong against the dollar, which has been a very tough trade. I would be very cautious as this chart does look like it may have room to squeeze lower. And if it does, I think what comes with that is a bigger push to the downside. I'm not long gold. I'm not short gold either. It's not really a trade I'm paying too close attention to. Let me double check and see if this is impacting my NASDAQ trade here slightly, but not too much. Of course, still floating just around $2,500 on this trade. And again, caught that support level, still holding on to this one very, very well. Yeah, that's quite the move. And also, I should also mention, yeah, the confetti went up for that one. Yeah, the NASDAQ trade is just hitting it. It is just going crazy right now. So anyways, let's talk about some stuff here in terms of sentiment. Why was I long biased NASDAQ? Let me go through it with you guys real quick. So NASDAQ, a couple things stuck out to me. First of all, retail traders, the amateur crowd, super short on NASDAQ, betting against a strong movement higher, right? As we know, very often retail traders are on the wrong side of the moves. So retail traders are betting heavy against the NASDAQ, right? And so with that, when they're betting heavy against the NASDAQ, I'm saying, okay, I don't want any part of that. I'm not looking to short the NASDAQ alongside the losing crowd, right? For lack of a better, just being straight up, it's the losing crowd tends to fade, what's going on. That's the retail money. So I wanted to get long on NASDAQ for that purpose. On top of that, Smart Money Tracker, let's take a look at institutional money. And I want to show you a very interesting chart specific to the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ here, NAS 100, we're going to go right here. I want to show you guys how this has progressed over time. What you can see here is that this is our look at institutional week-to-week positioning. We've added this chart more recently. For those of you guys who have the EdgeFinder, just head over to Smart Money Tracker and scroll down. You'll be able to access this data yourself. So what we saw is the NASDAQ in recent weeks has been increasing in institutional long exposure. In fact, it's been increasing at a dramatic rate. We've seen NASDAQ just continue higher. And at the most recent filings, we've had 57% of positions are on the long side. It's not a whopping percentage of long, but it's an increasing percentage. This is coming up from 46% previously. So we had a big increase in institutional buying of the NASDAQ. So I went to go to the NASDAQ and I said, okay, well, what do I want to do with this? Well, that is where, like I said, I ended up, and look at that gold, by the way, gold is trading right underneath the lows. What an impressive sell-off there here this morning. We'll have to come back to that in just a moment. Let me finish my thoughts with the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ came down to a level that I would have been watching. This zone in gray is where I ended up wanting to get long based on the things that I talked about. So we talk about this often on the channel. Technical analysis is what most traders, especially on the retail side, focus on. And there's nothing wrong with technical analysis. I know traders who use solely technical analysis and do fine. But what I like to do and what has helped me in my trading has been incorporating other factors. Notably, what we just talked about is sentiment analysis. This is things like COT, right? The commitment of traders data, or retail positioning, another thing that I love to look at. Fundamentals is like the inflation story, unemployment numbers, like we just got done seeing. Those things contribute to my analysis as well. So I use these components in addition to technical charts to try and find better confluence in my trading, instead of just purely trading a technical chart, which, like I said, I think you can still do fine with. But for me, what adds that extra level of profitability has always been the fundamentals, understanding why the market's driving and what are the macro drivers of the market are doing, so that I can try and join that story at an appropriate rate. So that's where I'm at with the NASDAQ. I've got this trade open. I'm holding on to it. I'm looking to see if we can break through the highs. And in that case, I will look to trail stops further. Marko, so today's volatility continues to be crazy. Here goes gold. A lot of people are talking about gold in the chat, and we're going to jump into some charts together as we do each week. If you guys are not familiar with Marko, he is a very technical trader who we always love having onto the show. You trade lower time frames like the 1 hour chart. You have a similar trading style to myself, I would say, in terms of the momentum traders. You're looking for higher risk reward. So I'm excited to see some of your analysis here today. And just following up with what we were just talking about with gold, gold is tanking here under the lows. Just does not want to quit, it seems like. Gold trading at 1941. Marko, what's your reaction to what have you been looking at in the markets today?
Sure, let me just share my screen. Also, one thing we do very similarly, I think, is trailing stops. I think. Okay.
Yeah, we definitely do. And I think, well, I haven't heard too much on your side of what you do with trailing stops, and I'd love to hear more about it. But yeah, trailing stops are my primary way of exiting a trade personally. So yeah, take us through this this gold movement real quick. What's I know you don't trade it, but in terms of just a technical move, what are we looking at today?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'll do the 1 hour chart as usual. So for me, we had this kind of a sideways range, but now it has clearly broken out of the range. So what usually happens in the technicals in something like this is this candle can very easily retrace back into the range, or the next candle easily retraces back and continues with this range bound price action. So what I would need to see for a conviction of a breakout, I would need to see the next hourly candle actually continue with the movement down. So we have around 12 more minutes for it to print. Currently, it looks like it's gonna just form a little bit of a wick. And then if the next candle continues, I would definitely be looking to sell. But just by this one candle alone, I can't judge if this is a true breakout or just a false breakout. So I need more data for this one.
So in the case that you do see some weakness on gold in the following hourly chart or the hourly candle, how would you enter from there? Would you be looking for a retracement, or would you just sell after that second hourly candle?
Yeah, so I would look for a pullback. I always look for a pullback. I never just get in on a market order. I mean, I do, but on a pullback. So I would need to see the next candle continue down a bit more, possibly print a similar size red candle. And then I would need to see either a flag formation, at which I enter with a market order right here in this leg, or I would need to see a small pullback, another break of the low, and then a retest of the low. So I set a pending sell limit order. And basically, so I don't use a take profit, I only put in a stop loss. So I only put in a stop loss and then just move the stop loss as the price keeps going down. So an example would be price keeps trending down, and I just move my stop loss on these swing highs, let's say.
Yep. So very, very similar to my own style. I think our entry style is a little bit different. I think for me personally, if I'm looking at gold here today, I'd be willing probably to trade it on the sell side. If I was talking purely technical, I don't really like the sell side in terms of fundamentals personally, so it probably doesn't fit my criteria for a trade. But from just a purely technical perspective, if I was looking to sell gold, it would just be the very simple, straightforward pullback into what level just got captured, for lack of a better term, from the sellers, right? Sellers, I would argue, captured this zone around 1955, where price broke underneath this low. And now a retest of this area, I would say, generally lends bearish, as now sellers have shown clear control of this area. So that's how I personally, I know it's very, straightforward technical analysis. And, for me, that's what's always been the easiest, the best way to approach it. I know people like to get fancy and do all sorts of stuff, but in terms of what I look for simple technicals that align also with my fundamental bias.
Don't forget to check out the links in the description if you want our broker recommendation, access to our free Discord, free EdgeFinder, or want to chat with us on Telegram. Remember, you can watch us live in the markets every morning starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have lots more free trading tools and content available on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching.